Hello, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you've had a good week, good Labor Day weekend. Um, what we're going to be doing in this week's module is going to be described by me here today in this little video. Everything that we've done from the first week till now has been preparing for a descriptive paper, our first published paper. In preparation for that, we've talked about the different types of sentences that a writer can create. We've also talked about sentence structure, avoiding fragments, run-ons, and comma splice errors. You've done a super job doing those lessons, and I can see great improvement in a lot of you. So this week, we're going to actually focus on the beginning of our descriptive paper. If you're looking right now at your screen, you're looking at one of the informative assignments that I posted here. It's called Descriptive Writing, Show Me Sentences. Number one, it says, show me, don't tell me. For example, in a casual conversation, a student might say, I was in an automobile accident yesterday. But such a statement gives little information. Was he or anyone else hurt? Did the accident involve another car or a tree? Was he alone in the car? Where did the accident happen? What did it look like? What sounds did it make? Were there any smells connected to it? Think of your five senses, and you're trying to appeal to those. So a lot of times when we've written a paper, we just do the tell me sentences where there's not a lot of description, just like this says. For example, a student might say, I was in an automobile accident yesterday. Sometimes that's very appropriate, and that's all you need to say, especially in oral conversation. However, when you're writing, you may want the reader to actually experience what you experienced by giving them descriptive detail. So let's look down here. It says, this sentence tells what happened rather than shows what happened. Let us rewrite the following sentence so that the description comes alive. So here, the car landed awkwardly, causing it to roll. Imagine if you just said that, this little sentence right here. Imagine if you just said that. Okay, it's a nice little sentence. It's just a simple sentence here, but it's not giving any detail. Ask, what does landing awkwardly look like? Think of an image in your mind and let's capture it in words. Also ask, is the car driving itself? Does the driver matter? Ask yourself, is enough detail provided to visualize what happened? What visual, auditory, that's your hearing, tactile, touch, olfactory, your smell, descriptions can you create from this prompt? So here, look what's been created from that. Same thing, the car lands awkwardly, causing it to roll. Well, read this right here. Look how much more descriptive this is. The car blasted through the guardrail, went into a free fall, then spun around in the air and landed sideways, causing the weight to shift. Freddie felt the momentum pulling the car forward. The car kept rolling, and with each flip, Freddie felt more and more helpless. Wow, there is a lot of detail in this sentence. Look at this. The car blasted through the guardrail. So we know a little bit more about that. It blasted, went really fast and hard through a guardrail, which was not mentioned earlier. It went into a free fall, like there's no control, just flipping. Then spun around in the air and landed sideways, causing the weight to shift. We know that there was a driver. What did he feel like? Freddie felt the momentum pulling the car forward. The car kept rolling, and with each flip, Freddie felt more and more helpless. Wow, that is so much better than the car landed awkwardly, causing it to roll. Here is another one. It's called The Blonde Guitar by Jeremy Burden. Why this is important to the writer. Okay, this blonde guitar. The most valuable possession is an old, slightly warped blonde guitar. The first instrument I taught myself how to play. It's nothing fancy, just a Madeira folk guitar, all scuffed and scratched and fingerprinted. At the top is a bramble of copper wire strings, each one hooked through the eye of a silver turning key. The strings are stretched down a long, slim neck, its frets tarnished, the wood worn by years of fingers pressing chords and picking notes. The body of the Madeira is shaped like an enormous yellow pear, one slightly damaged in shipping. The blonde wood has been chipped and gouged to gray, particularly where the pick guard fell off years ago. No, it's not a beautiful instrument, but it still lets me make music, and for that, I will always treasure it. Okay, so you can see, just look at that. Look at all this is what you're going to be doing basically. You're going to be writing a one-page paper, a descriptive paper about over a topic that that you're going to select from, some topics that you're going to select from. But just look at that. They try to appeal to all of your senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. And maybe not all of them, but they did through a lot of them. So this is what basically your end product's going to look like. But how do you get to this part? How do you actually really work on descriptive details? How do you turn a tell me sentence into a show me sentence? Show me, don't tell me what that is. So, number one, if you went with me through this exercise, down here to let me know that you've read this, sign your name and turn it in. Okay? Thank you on that part. Now, our next exercise is where we're going to do that. Show me sentences. Below there are two columns, one containing, well, they're not columns, they're rows, one containing a telling sentence and one containing a space for rewriting that sentence into a descriptive scene. Rewrite each telling sentence into one or several sentences that recreate the scene more vividly. Think of word choice and use senses, smell, touch, sight, taste, and sound to show the senses. Feel free to invent details within your revised sentences. So, for example, the old man stood in the grass and relaxed as the sun went down. That's a nice sentence, but it's not very descriptive. So let's look how might be a way you could do that. There's going to be this one has got two sentences. You could have three or four if you wanted, depending on how much detail you wanted to add. Here's the show me sentence. The grass caressed his feet and a smile softened his eyes. A hot puff of air brushed against his wrinkled cheek as the sky paled yellow, then crimson, and with it a breath, electrical indigo. Wow, look at that. We know a little bit. We know that that he was standing in grass. It doesn't say that, but we're adding that in there. He's standing probably in a field somewhere. He's in a grass. The grass caressed his feet and a smile softened his eyes. Imagine what that old man might have looked like or what his expression might have been. Those are the questions you ask yourself. The grass caressed his feet and a smile softened his eyes. A hot puff of air. Look at touch, a hot puff. And you can see the side of it, and you also feel the touch. The hot puff of air brushed, didn't say just touch, but brushed against his wrinkled cheek. Instead of just saying cheek, use a little adjective there, his wrinkled cheek, as the sky paled yellow, then crimson, and with a breath electrical indigo. So just think about how, in the evening or at dusk or dawn, how the colors of the sky changes. And they thought about that and wrote it. So that's what we're after here. Show me. Think about how to show me. Ask questions before you write to say, what can I write about that appeals to the senses? Sight, sound, smell, touch, or taste. As you go through these exercises, you're going to get better at it. So this is going to be your first one. The boy pulled a large fish out of the river. Okay? Show me that. Show me this boy pulling a large fish out of the river. Does the boy have a name? How old is he? What does he look like? Was he sweating as he was doing this? Did it take a long time? Was he standing in the river? Was he standing on the bank? What kind of fish was it? How much did the fish fight? What did the river look like? Was it a fast flowing river or just a gentle flowing river? Was it rocky on the bottom? Was it smooth, sandy bottom? Whatever it takes, just think, ask questions, and then write this. It can be 2 sentences, 3 sentences, 4 sentences, but really think about writing descriptively. Now, to help you, I posted here on another thing that you have in your cluster are some sensory word lists, things that might help you. So if you needed sight, for example, look at all these different words that you could use to help you, whether you use them for adjectives or whatever. The flashy or faint, faded, dingy, dim, dazzling. Oh, there's many, many more. The brilliant colored fish, the glittering or gloomy, glossy, glowing. Sound, the bellowing, the crackle, the cheer. think about maybe using some of these words in your writing. That's why I listed these words here to maybe aid you in your descriptive writing. Besides that, another descriptive technique, and this is another assignment that's in your cluster this week, is adding similes and metaphors. Remember, a simile is a comparison between two things using like or as. So for me to be able to visualize something or to taste something, to touch something, you might compare it to something else. Remember, they're two unlike things being compared together, using like or as. A metaphor, on the other hand, does the same thing, except that it doesn't use like or as. It often uses the word is, was, are, or were. Okay? For example, the noise at the concert is music to his ears. Okay? So, the noise at the concert is music to his ears. So we're saying that the noise that he's hearing is like music to his ears. I made it into a simile by saying is like, but if you take the like out, this is just a metaphor, is music to his ears. The boy, here's another one I'm just making up as I'm talking to you here. The boy was a lion tonight. Okay? The boy, I'm comparing the boy to a lion without using like or as. That's a metaphor. I could say the boy was like a lion tonight. Now it's a simile. But I'm saying that the boy was wild. He was crazy, uncontrollable like a lion. So the man is an ogre. Okay? Is this a simile or a metaphor? All you have to do is look at this. So I know that this is a metaphor because I don't see like or and. So the man is an ogre. That's kind of funny, thinking what a big old ogre that this man was like him. I just made it into a simile. But right now, this is just a metaphor. So I just put M there for metaphor. He is smart as a fox. Smart as. There's like or as, comparing this boy or this man to a fox. That is a simile. S. Okay, so you finish these. I think there's 14. And then you've got to create two of your own down at the bottom. Okay, so these are some assignments. I hope I explained what you're doing. Remember, we're going to be doing next week, after this following week, after Labor Day week, we're going to be doing actually our descriptive essay. So this is in preparation for it. Please follow the worksheets, follow the directions, and I'm really looking forward to reading your show me sentences that you're going to be creating. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.